say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The national anthem was performed by one of our graduates, Shanna Wright from Eden, Georgia, who is earning today a master's degree in teaching from elementary education. This is the 2015 winter commencement of WGU. We are graduating today over 6,700 students who have graduated since last July. Students come from all 50 states, the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, as well as U.S. military personnel serving overseas. WGU has now awarded cumulatively over 42,000 degrees in the 15 years that we have been in existence. Today we will award 4,000 undergraduate and over 2,500 graduate degrees. While most of our graduates are joining us over live streaming on the internet, we have about 570 graduates who have come to attend in person this graduation. You who are here come from 42 different states. I believe the one who came the furthest has come from Anchorage, Alaska. The average age of today's graduates is 39. The youngest is 19. The oldest is 75 years old. "39% of you represent the first generation in your family to graduate from college, and we extend a We know the journey that you have been on to arrive at this point and the important milestone that it is in your life. And we meet together today to celebrate with you that great achievement and look forward to following you as you move into advancing your careers with the degrees that you have earned. We're pleased today to have as our commencement speaker Horst H. Schulze, who is chairman and CEO of the Capella Hotel Group. Mr. Schulze is a legend and leader in the service world. His vision has helped reshape concepts of customer service throughout the hospitality and service industries. He worked for many years, starting, I think he said, as a bellman at 14 years old in a hotel, worked his way through a number of different hotel chains, joined Ritz-Carlton as a charter member in charge of operations in 1983. And he created the operating and service standards that have become world famous and associated with the Ritz-Carlton hotel chain. When he left Ritz-Carlton to form the Capella Hotel Group, he was in charge of the $2 billion Ritz-Carlton hotel operations worldwide. During his, more recently, in 1991, Mr. Schulze was recognized as Corporate Hotelier of the World by Hotels magazine. As president and COO of the Ritz-Carlton Group, the group was awarded the Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award twice, the only hotel chain to ever be awarded this award even once. We're pleased to welcome Horst Schulze, excuse me.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, families, friends. I understand where you are coming from. I have a wife who is just graduating from a graduate school, so I know that you also worked hard to go through this time, but congratulations, graduates. Wow. You did it. Bravo to all of you. Good morning and bravo to all of you. Now, carpe diem. Capture this moment. Capture this moment. Let this moment and the learning that you have done and whatever you hear not only go into your head and mind, let it go to your heart. Let this moment go to your heart. So tomorrow or next week, whenever you go back to your jobs, to your business, or wherever your life is, has anything changed? It better has. Because you have in your hand soon your diploma. You have in your hand proof that you can do it and did it. And I urge you from here on, let's start new, no matter what age. By the way, 75-year-olds, I am too. I'm starting a new company. I have a new dream. So start dreaming. Start dreaming new. When you go home tomorrow, I urge you, when you have a moment by yourself, go to your washroom, look in the mirror and say, you did it. I urge you that you then find a quiet place and think and dream where this new journey will take you. It is new because you have in your hand the proof, the key, a new key to move forward, a new tool for the journey ahead of you. But be sure you dream, you see a beautiful place somewhere in the future. Be sure you see it. Close your eyes, dream about it. See a place 10, 20 years from now, a year from now, and 10 years from now, and 15 years from now, and 20 years from now. Where will it take you? Where will it take you? What do you see? If you can't close your eyes and see something beautiful, you're missing something terrible. See a beautiful spot where this journey is going to take you. And then commit yourself to what you see. Commit yourself and say, yes, I will do it because I know I can now. Commit yourself to the journey. Commit yourself to the objective, to the dream, to the vision that you're going to have. And then initiate a step to get there. It's not enough to dream about it. You have to take steps to get there. And then to continue to go forward. Now the leaders and the winners will get there and will move forward. Managers and losers will find excuses as to why it cannot be done. They will find excuses. They will find a moment to blame the government. They will blame the neighbors, blame the family, blame even faith. The winners keep on looking and keep focus on the vision rather than the excuses that sometimes are called explanations. Dismiss the explanations, dismiss the excuses and move forward toward that dream. It's that dream that now going to work is not going to work anymore. It's you're going there to have a purpose, and the purpose is your own dream. Define yourself by the dream and by the purpose that you have. Define yourself by the excellence that you have. I was very lucky. When I left my home when I was 14 and worked as a busboy, bellman, all that, when I was 14 in a hotel, I was lucky to see and recognize suddenly people of excellence around me. Look at people of excellence. Decide to be a person of excellence. Define yourself as a person of excellence. You have in your hand the tool that you can, the knowledge that you can. Define yourself as excellent. When I saw the people around me, there were some people who came to work and some people who came to the place of work to be excellent, to create excellence. And I submit to you, ladies and gentlemen, making that decision to create excellence is not only a decision for excellence, it's a decision excellent actually for human happiness. Because to create peace of human happiness is being connected to creating excellence. It's in your hand. It's not a feeling that you wait for. Some people wait for feelings. You are in charge, not the feeling. The feeling do not allow the feelings to change you. Feelings are controlled, are in your hand, in your control. God goodness, I'm married for 36 years. I love my wife, and not only that, I'm in love with my wife. I don't wait for the feeling. I made that decision. I make the decision and I manage that decision. Every day I drive into my home, my driveway, I say, I love this woman. And so I'm in love. Do not wait for the feelings to control you. Control the feelings. Make a decision that you love your work. Make a decision that you love to go there to create excellence and create excellence. And on the way, you meet people. And on the way, you make decisions and decisions over and over. Most of all, don't go to work for the function of work. Ladies and gentlemen, don't ever hire people as your leads to fulfill a function. In my case, I don't hire people to clean rooms, to check people in, to cook. I hire people to join me in the dream that we have. I hire people to join me in the purpose and consequently give them purpose. You see, ladies and gentlemen, don't ever fulfill a function. Ladies and gentlemen, the chairs on which you're sitting is fulfilling a function. You are not chairs. You're human beings that think higher. And that higher thinking has to be excellence in what you're doing. And then take that road, and then respect the people around you, respect each other, love each other. That's a beautiful, beautiful saying. One of the most beautiful, for me, overwhelming saying in a book that you all have heard of. It's called the Bible, and it says in there, love your neighbor as yourself. Make that decision. Come at least close to it. And their closest neighbors are your family. Other neighbors that are very close are the people that work with you. Respect them, honor them, go forward. As you go forward, of course, there will be difficulties. You slip and fall down. Don't focus on it, focus on the vision. Get up and move forward. And your trip takes you where there are rocks in the street, in the road. Don't turn around, get out, move them aside and move forward. Constantly driven by the vision that you have. And that's how you move forward. That's how you're going to be successful. Losers find the excuses. Do not allow yourself to be a loser once you have had a dream, but do dream it. Without a vision, you're going to work without purpose. Without a vision, this road may take you somewhere where you don't want to be. So let yourself be guided by something beautiful. And know that's why you're working. And invite the people around you to join you. Make the decision that once you see this beautiful destination, make a decision and agonize be sure that it's good for all concerned, that it is clearly good for you and beautiful, that it is good for your family, that it's good for the employees, that's good for the company, and that it's good for society at all. Make the decision. Once you have made the decision, you can relentlessly move forward without excuses. It is a hard road. It's a hard journey. And one day you're going to arrive on that journey, and you're going to get rewards, and you're going to get recognition, more recognition, and you're there, and you found the place where you want to be. And then you come to the realization, it doesn't really have that much meaning. And you look back, and you can see the magic really was in the journey. And as you look back, you see difficult times, and you see beautiful times. As you look back, you see losing, and you see winning. As you look back, you see people. And there's one key thing that you see that you cannot avoid but seeing, and that's yourself. And you decide today how that looks, how you look when you're looking back. What are you going to see? Do you see integrity? Do you see honor? Do you see respect? What will you see when you arrive there? That's the question you have to ask yourself today. And go out there then with integrity and define yourself. Define what you're going to see when you come to this beautiful destination. So the journey and the destination go together. There is no journey that leads towards something excellent unless you see the excellence. And there is nothing to look back to of that journey that is of value unless you make the decision right now to create that value. And all that can start today, can start with the knowledge that you have it in your hand, that you have it in the proof, and the proof yourself, but look at yourself and say, you are the winner. You made it. And I, for one, ladies and gentlemen, I, for one, wish you a great journey. Thank you very much, and congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Schulze. What an inspiring address, not just for our graduates, but for all of us who were privileged to hear that. I thought as I looked out, the magic for us is the graduates who have realized your dreams and our dreams to help you gain a degree and ultimately career success. And I would just say to our graduates, you are winners. You've already proven that you're winners because you did have a dream and you did slip and fall once in a while and you picked yourselves up and pursued the dream, and here you are. And we have commented often that those who drop from the university without finishing have significant life challenges. But so do all of our graduates who graduate from the university. And so again, we congratulate you and hope you'll carry that same spirit of success that you've demonstrated here throughout the rest of your life. We are privileged today to hear from 4 of our graduates. We wish we could hear the individual stories of each of you. We know there is a story behind each of you being here today. We will hear first from Dale Bolton from Westchester, Ohio, who has earned a bachelor's degree in business management. He will be followed by Cindy Krupinski from Livonia, Michigan, who has earned a bachelor's degree in business IT management. And then we'll hear from Brian Denton from Danville, Illinois, who has earned his master's degree in nursing education. And finally, we'll be privileged to hear from Lisette Rico from Lehigh Acres, Florida, who has earned a master's degree in English language learning. Dale.
Good morning, fellow graduates, family, friends, my WGU brothers and sisters. We made it, huh? Now, if you're here today, this means something to you. This graduation, this ceremony, it means something to me. But it hasn't always been the case. I haven't always seen the value in a degree. But today, it means more to me than I ever imagined. Now, my college career began back in 1987. That year, I graduated high school. I was supposed to go to college for 4 years, get a job, make a bunch of money. That was 27 years ago. I went the traditional route. Went to university, college, right after high school, because that's what you're supposed to do. But I guess looking back at the time, I wasn't mature enough for the college experience. I wasn't ready. It's funny, when you go to college the first time, it's a lot of pomp and circumstance. It's a celebration. The whole family's there to see you off. I remember that second time my father came to get me. That's right, I dropped out twice. Well, there's no streamers and confetti for that trip. You get that pickup? That's a sad and lonely pickup. I remember getting the car packed up. The only thing my father said to me that day, I say, Dad, I'll drive. And he's like, no, son, I'll drive. I want to make sure we get where we're going. Make sure we finish the trip. Make sure we complete the journey. I remember also he said to me that day, you're probably never going to forget your degree. And he was right for some 20 years. And sadly today, he's not here for me to tell him, see, I told you so, old man. And the funny thing is, for the longest time, he was the whole reason I wanted that darn degree in the first place. But that's okay, because I always knew the love was there. And I'm sure today he's smiling down with pride and shock. After my brief flirtation with college, I was what you call an entry-level champion. My resume had what you call a significant hourly experience. Nothing else to show for it. Then I caught my big break. I was hired at a brokerage firm as a brokerage trainee. I worked hard, I loved it. And in the brokerage industry, there are a couple rules you follow as a newbie. You don't pick your own stocks because you don't know what you're doing. And you don't invest your family's money or your friends' money, because when the market turns, and it always does, where are you going to go? Well, the market turned, and my once bright future turned bleak. And I was thoroughly disgusted, embarrassed, ashamed. I felt bad for my clients, my family, my friends. So you think I'd learn my lesson, maybe put some direction in my life. No, I ran away with the circus. True story. You can really do that. Actually, I knew someone, Cirque du Soleil, worked security for the company, said, why don't you finish the tour out, see the country? So I did that. Saw new cities, met a bunch of interesting people, met some VIPs, including one President Clinton, shook his hand. He actually saw me with the jacket on when he was exiting the VIP exit. Came up to me and said he loved the show and thanked me for it. I was like, you're welcome, Mr. President. Have a good day. So long circus story short, the tour ended in Atlanta. I ended up there working construction. Then one day, engine of my car blew out. I had no transportation, no money, I was broke, no emergency fund, no credit, which was no good credit. And so I had to make that call to my parents, thereby admitting defeat once again. Thank God this time my dad sent me a bus ticket, because that had been 17 hours of just silence, shame, and failure, all marinated in one stuffy car, no radio. So there I was, back in Chicago. I decided to give the stock market another try. I was a little older, a little wiser, got hired at a firm. I worked my way up from broker to trader to assistant head trader. I was making a bunch of money, at least to me anyway. I was on top of the world. Who needed a degree? Well, apparently I would, after the firm go out of business, and I was once again out of work and at square one. My father recommended maybe giving school another shot. Of course, this time, he wouldn't be paying for it. And it's funny how you get new perspective, when something's coming out your own pocket. And that was my first experience with online education. And really, it wasn't until I met my wife, Michelle, and we had our first son, that I truly embraced education. And by this time, we moved to Ohio, where my wife's originally from. Shout out to Fort Loramie. And we opened an insurance business. We did pretty well. That lasted for a few years. But soon my wife and I had 2 more children, 2 girls, and I needed more stability. I needed, and to be an example, I needed my degree. I needed more time. That's when the WGU competency-based approach really had an impact on my life. Even with the flexibility of asynchronous learning environment, you could really buckle down when you had time and then demonstrate your mastery of the material later. Plus, my mentor, Rachel, God bless her, she was there every step of the way for me, and I can't imagine it doing any other way. Now, one thing I've come to realize through my many jobs is I've been searching for something. Didn't know what, but searching. Well, the sense of accomplishment I now have completing my WGU degree, along with what I took from my project management course, of all things, have infused me with a new enthusiasm for what I do now. Today, I'm working at a regional college, been there for 3 years, and I plan on sticking around. I've even taken a shine into writing. Now, I'll be honest with you, up until recently, I wasn't even concerned with attending graduation or walking across the stage. It didn't matter so as long as I got that piece of paper and that degree. I've come to understand now, it's all about how you want the world to see you. It's not about the time we think we have, but the time we make to do what we feel we must. And I speak from experience because I'm a married father of 3, 9 and under. Been a big brother through Big Brothers and Big Sisters since 2009, and most recently, I've been a full-time student at Western Governors University. I'm just your typical busy adult with no free time. But I chose to make this time. This is important to me. So you see, even though my father might not be around to see me walk across this stage, I think it's important that I'm here. It's important that my wife's here, so she can see what her sacrifice has allowed me to achieve. Love you, babe. And it's imperative that my kids, that my little brother, that they see me walk across this stage, because you know what? It really all does matter, and it'll also really matter one day when they start making their own, hopefully better, choices. Thanks for listening to a chapter out of my story. Congratulations to each and every one of us. Now let's get out there and write our own chapters.
I would like to begin by saying that I am proud and honored to be standing before you today to share my story with you and represent my fellow students and graduates. I hope my words can serve as an inspiration that nothing is impossible. Life's obstacles and struggles are mere stepping stones to success. There's a quote by Robin S. Sharma that I use to help keep me motivated when times get tough. Every event has a why, and all adversity teaches us a lesson. Never regret your past, accept it as the teacher that it is. Coming from an average-sized family, both my parents had to work multiple jobs to provide for us growing up. It was their work ethic and values that gave me the starting point to becoming the person that I am today. Becoming a mother at the age of 19 and losing my son's father in a car accident when my son was about 2 months old, getting married and having 2 more children, and becoming a step-parent, all while attempting to go to school in the hopes to achieve my degree to set the example for my children and to be able to make a better life for my family. 16 years later, yes, you heard right, 16 years to earn a 2-year degree. I had now gone through a divorce, became a single parent for the 2nd time, won my battle with cancer, lost everything I had worked for, including my home and my car, and began a new relationship. I found myself questioning what I needed to do to make a better life for my family. However, you can imagine my hesitation at going another round. Life has a funny way of shaking things up, so yet again I found myself facing another challenge. Maintaining a long-distance relationship because my boyfriend had to move out of state for work, taking care of my children, working full-time, and now looking to adding to going to school full-time. At this point, my oldest had just graduated high school, and he was attending another university. My daughter would be graduating in a few years, and earning a more advanced degree would put me in a better position. But some questions remained. How was I going to afford it, find time to study, and get it done within a short period of time? My goal through all of this was to complete my studies before my kids graduated high school. Due to my cancer treatment, I missed my first target, but I didn't let that stop me. WGU is accredited, which allowed me to qualify for additional grants and scholarships, along with the discount that my employer currently offered. So with great determination to obtain my bachelor's degree before my daughter graduated, I began looking at my course of study and the time it would take. It was then I realized I needed to accelerate a bit to achieve my goal. During my 3rd term at WGU, I managed to complete 26 competency units, which allowed me to move graduation up an entire term. Within the first few months of attending WGU, I received recognition from my employers, management, as well as external clients, and soon was able to obtain a promotion at work. I attribute a good part of my success to my experience at WGU. Of course, I do nothing the easy way. I was now adding more responsibility on top of my already full life, but maintained a great confidence and a can-do attitude. Don't get me wrong, this journey was not without its failures and struggles to master the concepts. Near the end of my program, I had one class left. Unfortunately, I took the test for that class and did not obtain my usual stellar score. This was a very devastating development, but with the help of my mentor, John, along with many other course mentors, I was encouraged not to give up, and they provided great support both personally and academically. As the new semester began, I continued my weekly calls with my mentor, but I just could not pull myself out of this feeling of disappointment. As we spent roughly a year and a half talking every Monday, my mentor got to know me well, and he could see that this one had hit me hard. But that did not stop him in his conviction that I could do this, and he pointed out how close I really was to my goal. So we pulled out all the stops, scheduling calls with course mentors, sitting in on study sessions, and taking advantage of all of the vast learning resources that were available. I truly believe if it were not for the support that I received from the amazing mentors here at WGU, as well as the sacrifices my family made in those last few weeks, I would have never made it. One of the many gifts WGU gave me was a new confidence. And with that new tool, I'm creating new opportunities for myself every day. My parents always told me, don't let anyone say that you can't do something. If your drive and passion are there, then nothing can escape your reach. Those words have stayed with me through everything I do, a daily driving force, and pushed me to become the first female in my family to earn an advanced degree. I share these same words with my children with the hope that it motivates them as it has me, to reach for the stars and know nothing is impossible, if you are willing to put in the effort and dedication to get there. I would like to personally thank the people that made this journey possible. Thank you to the many mentors, John Bolke, Mindy Kirshneroff, Judy Austin, just to name a few, for the constant support and confidence in me. Thank you, Wayne, for the sacrifices you made every day to make my life easier. And thank you to my children. You are my true motivation behind me, and this day is that much more special that we share it together. I am proud to say that I graduated from WGU with so much more than I could have expected. A new confidence, a new knowledge, and a renewed vision of a bright future with unlimited possibilities. I am proud to be a WGU Night Owl and want to congratulate my fellow classmates in this great accomplishment. I leave you with this quote by Paul Garner. A painting is never finished. It simply stops in interesting places.
When I think of the path that led me on this journey to standing before you today, there are two words that clearly define my journey: passion and compassion. I'll talk about these two words again in a few minutes. Now, I knew when I was in high school that I wanted to be a nurse, but I did not know how my path was going to lead there, and many did not believe it would be possible. In fact, I remember a nursing instructor telling me I would not graduate. Well, it's been 14 years, and I have the same degree she has today because of a program that fit my life at WGU. My amazing journey really starts as a child, though. As an infant and toddler, I had undiagnosed hearing and vision issues, which resulted in me being totally deaf and blind. As I missed developmental milestones, I was entered into an early intervention program, and multiple specialists and social workers told my parents that I had special needs and would not be able to learn. With testing, they discovered that the reason I was unable to speak was because I couldn't hear. I had so much fluid behind my eardrums that they didn't move. After draining the fluid, I was able to hear, and with vision testing, they found that I was completely blind in my right eye, and the left eye was nearly blind, trying to make up for both. At 2 years old, I got my first pair of glasses. For a visual, picture Ralphie from A Christmas Story. I looked just like him. Even after these treatments, many felt I still would not be at the right level developmentally, and I had heard this many times. That was the beginning of the passion that led me to be better. I grew up in an extremely poor family in the government projects. For a family of 6, my parents made less than $20,000 a year. When I was a teenager, my mom made the decision to return to college in order to get a better job. And while working a full-time night shift, my mom, attending the community college, she was taking care of her family at home also. But all of this was too much for her brain to handle, and she had a mental breakdown. It was admitted to an inpatient hospital. So at the age of 16, I was at home with my disabled father and 2 sisters, and I had to take over. I worked 2 jobs and 40 hours a week to try and help pay the bills while attending high school, and managing to make honor roll every semester, as well as taking dual credit classes at the local community college. You see, I didn't want to live this way my whole life. I was determined I was going to graduate from college. I graduated from high school and was accepted into nursing school the first semester of college. While working in a long-term care facility, I met a patient that taught me about compassion. Joy had psychiatric issues, but was active and stubborn, and I got along well with her and was assigned to be her nurse one day after she'd fallen multiple times. She had been seatbelted to a wheelchair because of the falls, and her most recent fall resulted in her cutting her forehead open, and her sutures were 5 days overdue to be removed because she would not allow anyone to do it. After spending some time with a very agitated Joy, she agreed to allow me to do it if I bought her a Dr. Pepper. When the removal was complete, I brushed her hair and got her out of the wheelchair to take her for a walk to get that Dr. Pepper. And as we walked down the hall side by side, she reached over and grabbed my hand to say these words that have never left me. "You know, I like you. You're not like the others. You actually care." Now you ask, what does this have to do with my journey to here? Joy taught me about compassion, and she reaffirmed why I became a nurse. 2 years later, I was working as a contract nurse at a children's home when I met a young man named Jason. Jason has cerebral palsy and is practically nonverbal. My first interaction with him, he smiled and said, "I love you." A year later, I adopted him and brought him home to live with me as a single dad at 21 years old. There is one thing that all of us have in common, no matter what your degree is or what your profession is. We all affect people. Whether it's fixing their computer or entering their payroll, teaching children or fixing children, we all affect people in some way. The passion I have to better my life and the compassion I have to teach others, and the passion I have for others is to help when I finish my master's degree. I want to teach others to be those compassionate nurses. This same passion guided me through both my bachelor's and my master's degree at WGU. And this compassion continues to lead me as a nurse, caring for patients and educating nurses. Every day, I go to the coolest job, my dream job as a flight nurse, and I strap my helmet on and climb into a helicopter, and I take care of some of the sickest patients, and I have the ability to influence someone's life at the most critical time. I get to go to hospitals and EMS agencies and teach classes as an accredited provider of continuing education for paramedics and nurses. With invitations to speak at conferences and plenty of work, I don't have to live paycheck to paycheck anymore, and none of it would have been possible without the passion for improvement and because of WGU's program. With my master's degree from WGU, I am prepared for the future, and there are no limits on the possibilities.
Today, I graduate from Western Governors University with a master's degree in English language learning. However, statistically, I really should not be standing here. You see, this is my first time participating in any graduation ceremony. I was a high school dropout. I had to drop out of high school in my 11th grade year because of the violence that was occurring at my school. And when it finally touched me personally, I felt I had enough. However, my goal was to prove that statistic wrong. I wanted to be an exception to the rule of a high school dropout's outcome in life. Growing up, I never knew the dangers of my neighborhood or even the lack of money or material possessions we had. My parents worked tirelessly to provide us with the most loving, safe, and nurturing environment any child could only dream of. In my mind, I always thought we were rich. That's how my parents made us feel. And although we were far from rich, we were rich with love. When I started school is when I realized the realities of the world and the sadness and anger that many children have because they did not have what I had, which is love. In elementary school, I was tirelessly bullied and oftentimes beat up. But when I got home, it's like it never even happened. I would come home to my loving family and my troubles would disappear. I remember one evening talking to my mother about the children in school, and she reminded me that those children may not have love and happiness or someone to hug when they come home from school. You do, she said. Don't be angry with them. Feel sorry for them. Throughout the years, I knew I had always wanted to be a teacher, but the kind of teacher that understands that even little children can have bad days. The kind of teacher that gives hugs and makes her students feel as if they are in their second home. I wanted to make a difference in the lives of those children who grow up not knowing what love is, but would have the opportunity to find it within the walls of my classroom and in the comfort of their teacher's arms. So in that year, when I dropped out of high school, I was determined that I would not stop there. During that summer, I took my GED test and passed, and in what was supposed to be my 12th grade year turned out to be my freshman year in college. It was an amazing feeling knowing that my dreams of having my own classroom were going to come true. But through it all, life happened, and I eventually stopped with just an associate's degree. I met my amazing husband, we married, and life was great. Until one afternoon, on my drive back to work from my lunch break, I caught a glimpse of some teachers waving goodbye to their students as on the school buses as it had been the last day of the school year. I literally had to stop my car and I broke down crying. As I watched that scene, I felt defeated by that statistic, and I felt sad because I wanted to be one of those teachers waving goodbye to their students on the last day of school. I wanted to be that teacher that my students would never forget, and I wanted to make my parents proud. That was the breaking point for me. I thought, that's it, I am going to enroll myself in college again, and I'm going to finish what I started. I got back to work, and on my downtime, I Googled teacher schools, and I came across WGU. It was completely online, and you only had to pay a one-time tuition per term, and in that tuition, you could squeeze in as many classes as you wanted, without having to pay anything else out of pocket. I felt it was too good to be true, especially because I had already had a bad experience with another online university. But after talking to my husband about it, he said, go for it. And so I enrolled in WGU with the incredible feeling that my dreams were back on track. But I soon learned it was not going to be easy. During my bachelor's program with WGU, I gave birth to my first daughter, and when she turned 1, I started my internship while 7.5 months pregnant with my second son. WGU was gracious enough to allow me to have a 1-month term break in between my elementary education and special education internships. During that month break, I gave birth to my son, and 5 weeks later, I went right back to my internship. It was not easy. Believe me, having an exclusively breastfed newborn baby, a 1-year-old, interning, studying for state exams, task stream assignments, and nightly feedings was not easy. It took lots of willpower, determination, and support. And I felt that support from WGU through student mentor at the time, Shannon Stocklosa, my course mentors who literally applauded me every single time I would log in with my webcam with the class for our cohort sessions with my newborn in hand and my 1-year-old peeking in through the webcam. And of course, my amazing and supportive husband who celebrated all of my little and big successes and encouraged me in my times of frustration. Sure, I was a walking zombie, but I was determined to finish what I started, no matter the obstacles. WGU kept me in line and encouraged me every step of the way. I finally graduated with my bachelor's degree in special education and elementary education and quickly found a job teaching in the same EBD special education classroom. My experience growing up in a rough neighborhood and my mother's words of wisdom that not every child comes to a home filled with love helped me during this time. As I was teaching children who had been labeled as having emotional and behavioral disorders, mainly from traumatic experiences and unloving upbringings. However, I did not stop there. Remember, I really wanted to beat that exception to the GED statistic, so I decided to give it my all one more time and get my master's degree. I took the plunge of sleep deprivation, full-time work, and being a mommy and wife head on till graduation. Thanks to my amazing student mentor, Christy Bennett, who every time I passed a course, she would send me an email with balloons or confetti and bold letters saying, "Yes, you did it," or short motivational videos that gave me the boost I needed to keep going when TaskStream was not my friend. My goal through it all, though, after giving birth to my children, was always to be a mommy first. WGU made that possible for me. I did not want to take precious time away from my children by being in an enclosed classroom, all because I wanted to make my dreams of becoming a teacher a reality. WGU is open 24 hours a day, and when my babies were asleep for the night, or at least until their next feeding, that's when I was hitting the books. WGU made it possible for me to achieve my educational dreams while being able to be a mommy and wife first. And I thank WGU for this gift. I thank Jehovah God, my amazing husband, my beautiful children, and my family for showing me what true love is. It is giving all that you have and all that you are without expecting anything in return. And so I leave you with the words of my mother and father, who made me the person I am today, as you embark in your journey to find your place in this world. As my mother would say, everything you do, do with love, because with love, we can move mountains. And as my father would say, if you don't build your dream, someone is going to hire you to help build theirs. So, congratulations to the WGU class of 2015 for the completion of your dreams, and may your future dreams be bigger and brighter than you ever thought possible.
From deep in my heart, thank you to everyone who has spoken here today. And congratulations to all the graduates whose successes we are here to celebrate. It's important, so please join me, to recognize the many individuals who have helped you reach this day, including your family, your friends, and your mentors. I would like to ask our faculty mentors to stand and be recognized for their outstanding work in helping you achieve this success. Will all our faculty mentors please stand and be recognized? This concludes our general commencement. For those of you attending the bachelor's convocation, it will be in this room. The master's convocation will take place in the Fiesta Ballroom down the hall. WGU staff will be in the lobby to help direct everyone to the ballroom and the restrooms. We expect that the ceremonies will continue in about 15 minutes from now. Thank you.